listening to the Pay-Per-View Prediction Show with the cast of the Ringside Seat Podcast.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to this Ringside Seat Podcast Prediction Show, Episode 5. We're here breaking down Clash of Champions, the first Raw exclusive pay-per-view that will take place in Indianapolis, Indiana. And we'll see who walks out with the championship that's currently over my shoulder. I am your champion, and I am your host. My name is Dreamcast Phil.
I'm Jake Ryan as Epic.
And I'm me, Joe Spitley.
After, in my opinion, SmackDown kind of hit a home run with their first exclusive pay-per-view Backlash, Raw tries to come back with a haymaker at the Baker's Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. And before we go any farther, somebody on this show is actually going to be at Baker's Life Fieldhouse in Indianapolis, Indiana, and that is none other than Billy. Billy, before we go any further, tell me, are you excited for this show? Obviously, you bought the tickets way in advance. How are you feeling going into it?
Yeah, it's going to be a great show. I'm very excited for the card overall. Look, we got some great matches scheduled for this Sunday, and last pay-per-view I was at was Payback in Chicago, and I'm excited to get back into that to see a pay-per-view again.
Yeah, we were both at Royal Rumble, obviously in hometown Orlando, which was a great one. You've been the one since then, but yeah, I mean SmackDown I thought did a very good job with theirs, and I feel like Raw they have their work cut out for them, but I think if they're going to have a better show, that this card could definitely do it. So without any further ado, we're going to jump right into it now with these matches. First, starting at the pre-show, we have Alicia Fox against Nia Jax. There will come a time that Nia Jax loses the match, but it's not going to be now. I think Nia Jax wins this in relatively convincing fashion. It'll be a little bit more than the squash, but she's still going to have control for it most of the time.
In my opinion, this is a no-brainer. I go with Nia Jax.
I'm right there with you guys. Nia Jax takes this one, and Alicia Fox is going to be, on the losing end once again.
Yeah.
We are unanimous.
Yeah, that one seems pretty cut and dry. For a next match here, it's not official yet, but it looks like it's something that will be added to the pre-show or early on, is the team of Enzo and Cass facing the Shining Stars. They've been feuding for a lot on Raw recently. I feel like that'll be that match that gets thrown in at the end. So we're going to try and stay ahead of booking here and go ahead and throw a prediction out anyway. The Shining Stars have kind of had Enzo and Cass's number as of late, so I think this is the time that you get the payoff of them finally getting a win over these guys. So I got Enzo and Cass if, in fact, this match happens.
If the match does happen, I have to go with Enzo and Cass as well.
Once again, we are unanimous, and like Phil was saying, Shining Stars have had Enzo and Cass's number, but this is going to be the turnaround for Enzo and Cass when they pick up the win.
Yeah, from what I'm reading, from what I'm reading though, this match, it's a matter of if they have time on the card for it to happen. It's kind of what I'm reading. So we'll see if that does in fact happen. So the first match here listed on the main card, we have our brand new Cruiserweight Championship of the world, the new champion TJ Perkins, facing old-time fan favorite Spanky, a.k.a. Brian Kendrick. Real quick before we get into the winners or losers of this match, with this new championship belt, how do you guys feel about this title belt?
Billy, do you want to go first, or shall I?
Well, the title itself I like. The purple doesn't really bother me. The design is pretty cool. I'm glad it's just not a mini version of the Universal or the Women's or the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. That's that same design, but overall it's cool. It's very distinct looking with the strap and the design overall. I just hope they're able to keep up the pace and quality of matches that they put on the Cruiserweight Classic series.
Yeah, I agree with all of your points, Billy. To me, I like the belt because it's as subtle as it can get for being purple and silver. But I do like the design. It reminds me a lot of the Cruiserweight Classic, which was amazing. Every single match in that was amazing. So it's very nice that we get a belt that doesn't look like a fruit roll-up.
Yeah, I think you look at the metal plates themselves, they look, very awesome, very detailed. Someone who's a passionate supporter of Orlando City Soccer Club, I'll never have a problem with anything being purple ever again. So I am happy that they went in a different direction with it. It looks different, but somewhat familiar. It still has the main W in the middle, which I think a lot of them are going to do, even when they make new titles down the line. But overall, I think they did pretty good with this one. But it does pose the question, if they were going to do that, why couldn't they make the Universal at least a little bit different? But I digress. Moving on to as we all saw this coming, the match 7 of the best of 7 series between Cesaro and Sheamus.
We got to predict the Cruiserweight Championship.
Oh, we did. Oh, yeah, right. We missed that. I'm going Perkins. He hasn't been on Raw yet. I think it wouldn't make sense for him to debut just to drop the title. I could see Kendra getting it down the line, but I'm going to go Perkins. Thanks for catching that.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Perkins also. He just won the championship. It wouldn't make any sense just for him to immediately drop it. And something to add, I think we may see a Brian Kendrick heel turn at the end of the match.
Yeah, I mean, that's possible, too. I'm also going to go with Perkins on this one. I mean, Brian Kendrick these days, the oddity himself, I don't really consider him a face, but he could turn into that distinct heel of the division.
Yeah, that's the point I was about to make is, the division does eventually need a heel, and, he's going to be the most veteran guy they have. Why not let him be, the guy that can put over some other guys, or if he wins a feud, a feud with someone as, seasoned as Brian Kendrick could easily elevate one of these younger guys. But back to what I was saying about that best of 7 series, it's tied up at 3. I think we all saw this coming, even though Cesaro started, 3 in the hole. And because of that, I think the payoff is going to be Cesaro winning. I mean, obviously, it could be a nice little tip in Sheamus's cap to, win by cheating or whatever. But to me, if you're going to make us sit through 7 of these matches, at least give us the payoff we deserve.
I think logically speaking, in what you were saying, Phil, the payoff would be good if Cesaro were to win. So I'm going to go with Cesaro as well.
Once again, we are all 3 for 3 or 4 for 4 if it happens. But on this one, I'm going to unanimously go with Cesaro. I hope he picks up the win. I'm curious to see what title they were to actually go for after, the winner of this.
Yeah, they've kept this vague as hell as what these guys are actually fighting for. So hopefully we find out soon enough. Moving on next, we have the United States Championship match. We have Rusev defending against Roman Reigns. For real this time, not like at SummerSlam when the match didn't actually happen. But I am going, and this is probably where the wheels fall off this thing, I'm going to go with Rusev, similar to what I said at SummerSlam. Reigns might eventually get the belt from him, but I don't think it's going to be now. I think Rusev finds a way to win this one and, maybe holds out to another big pay-per-view.
I've got to break the string of unanimity between all 3 of us. I'm going with Roman Reigns.
So I'm going to agree with one of you, but which one? I'm going to agree with Jake on this one. I think Roman Reigns is going to pick up the win and be the new WWE United States Champion.
To me, that's going to be interesting to see him with that title. They're doing things out of order almost. It's harder for him to get the mid-card title than it was the world title, but we'll see how that works. Next up, which could easily be the match of the night, we have the underdog from the underground versus the Gift of Jericho. I'll be drinking it in, but I'm going to go with Sami Zayn in this one. I think it could be a huge rub to him, and Jericho, I don't think would mind putting him over in this case. I'm going to go Sami Zayn for what would probably be, other than his match against Owens, his biggest win on the main roster.
I got to agree with you. I'm going with Sami Zayn also.
Yeah, this is probably the match, one of the matches I'm most looking forward to. And I have to agree with you guys, and with hopes that Sami Zayn will pull through and, like you said, get that rub from Jericho and maybe a little gift as well.
Yeah, that would definitely be great. Going to pick up the pace a little bit here. We have a triple threat women's championship match. This one's a little harder for me to pick. I kind of see Charlotte retaining because Banks and Bayley can't get out of their own way, and Charlotte finds a way to get out of it and walks out with the championship.
I disagree. I'm going to go with Sasha, and I think Charlotte is going to lose the title by Dana Brooke messing up somehow.
Could definitely see that too.
Yeah, this match is also another one I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to have to go with Sasha Banks, the boss, on this one. And that's interesting what Jake said. That would be cool if that happened. Hopefully we get a Sasha Banks Bayley feud in the future.
Definitely.
Well, they've been planting the seeds of a Dana Brooke face turn for a while now, so I guess it only makes sense.
I do see that happening. I just don't know if this will be the night. Moving on, we have another rematch from SummerSlam for real this time. At least with hopefully a definitive ending. We have the New Day putting their championships on the line, their record streak on the line against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. I'm going to say exactly what I said at SummerSlam. I think it's time that the streak ends and we have new tag team champions, and I think it'll be Gallows and Anderson.
I have to agree with you. I'm going with Gallows and Anderson. I think the New Day has gotten pretty boring. Their shtick has gotten, I think it's worn out its welcome. So I think the titles would look really great around the waists of Doc Gallows and the Machine Gun Carl Anderson.
Yeah, I think we all went with these guys last time, and I was surprised that New Day pulled through. But I'm going to have to go with the Gallows and Anderson on this one as well. They're kind of pulling that badass card, and maybe after that old day skit, they'll be able to actually be badasses with the titles.
Right. And to Jake's point, I don't know that it's that the New Day are getting old. I just think that for what they do and what they bring to the show, they're not needed as champions. They can do all the things they're doing to entertain the crowd without the belts. And I think WWE might finally realize that, but we'll see. Next, we have the main event, and if you'd have told me a couple years ago that the main event world title match of a WWE show would be Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, I would have not believed you. But that is the reality we have. The Universal Champion, Kevin Owens, against Seth Rollins. I'm going Kevin Owens. I don't think he loses the belt just yet. I think the real question is going to be if we see Triple H or not.
I'm right there with you, Phil. I see Owens retaining.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Is Triple H going to show up or not? Even if he doesn't, I still think Kevin Owens is going to pick up the win against Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty unanimous. And the other big question is, depending on where you're sitting, Billy, are you going to get fist bumped by Roman Reigns like you did last time?
Oh, Roman doesn't come through the crowd anymore.
Oh, that's true. All right. Yeah. Well, let's see if hopefully we can spot you on TV this next time coming around. Because, we can get some snapshots on that and put those on Twitter. But that is our entire show. That is Clash of Champions. Who walks away with our championship belt? Find out next time. But until then, I'm the champ for now. I'm your host, Dreamcast Phil.
I'm Jake Ryan is Epic.
And I'm me, Just Billy.
We'll see you next time. We'll save you a seat.